And I'm extremely delighted to chair this session on genetic engineering and innovations in cognitive and neurosciences. And our speaker is none other than Dr. Gufran Beg. He is honorary professor of MIT University and a very distinguished scientist working at Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology in Pune. He is working as scientist G, and he has been there working in this field for last 35 years. His expertise is in air quality, ozone depletion, and development of multi-hazards early warning systems with an aim to understand the impact of air pollution and climate change on human health and food security. Dr. Gufran Beg has conceived, designed, and developed India's first air quality forecasting system, popularly known as SAFAR, System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research, SAFAR. He has also established nationwide air quality monitoring and modeling network framework project known as MAPAN, M-A-P-A-N, Modeling Atmospheric Pollution and Networking, MAPAN, to spread science in universities and remote areas. One such center he kindly agreed to establish in MIT University, Rajasthan, Jaipur, and I am optimistic that when the funding situations will improve at the national level, he will be able to establish that center here at Jaipur. He earlier made a unique discovery by revealing the impact of climate change in the upper atmosphere, impacting radio communication, satellite breadth, and navigation system. He is recipient of several prestigious awards, including the S.S. Bhatnagar Award, which is considered as highest in the country. He is the first Indian scientist to get the international award by World Meteorological Organization, WMO, known as Norbert Mumm Award. He is fellow of the Indian Academy of Sciences and our honorary professor, MIT University. Professor Beg is from Rajasthan and he's completed his MSc Physics and a PhD in Physics with specialization in atmospheric science from Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad. He has published more than about 200 publications and has a citation record of 5,000 above. He also edited several books and authored some technical papers, reports, and delivered invited talks in India and many international fora. I welcome Dr. Beg to MIT University Rajasthan, Jaipur, and would request him now to deliver his talk. Thank you, Dr. Beg.
Thank you very much, sir, for very modest introduction. And I am so delighted with all Dr. Kothari, who has provided such a wonderful, but I am humbled with his introduction. And what I will be, can you see my?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
You can see.
So, you know, this is the talk which I am going to provide is very simple, but then I think it will motivate a lot of youngsters who will be joining with this talk. It is a combination of a hardcore science versus some neurological, what you call in terms of a, not in terms of a clinical neurology, but then what we think, how our mood, how our positivity should come into that. So that is the way I link it to neurology. Well, without spending much time, let me start with this, that air quality management and COVID-19 lockdown. That was the topic which I had given. There are three things at this stage of time. There were two basically before the pandemic started, but now there are three things which are bothering us. One is a climate change, which all of you must have heard about. Air quality, which is getting deteriorated because of our own actions. which I will tell further. And 2020 will be remembered, in fact, not as a so pleasant year as far as human life and many difficulties what we got it are seen, which is, I think, we have not seen for decades. So these are the third one is the new challenge which has come, and I think my talk that how we can dig out and search the positivity from this pandemic which has gripped the whole nation as well as the whole world in this. So without spending much time, you know that the fundamental right of a citizen is that breathing is our fundamental right. And then most of you may not be aware that in 24 hours, a common man inhales 14,000 liters of air every day. And that is where, what if we try to see our ancestors' time and our time, quantity remains the same because human being remains the same, but the quality is not the same. And that is the difference which has made. Now, pandemic, when the lockdown and all those things which are basically emits the pollution, I will come to that particular point, which has stopped because of the lockdown in the initial days, then it is a kind of a satellite up pictures which is being shown all over the world, that how the world used to be before and after the COVID, and then you can see the difference between top and down figures. Now, how all this happening, air quality, climate change, what you are doing, basically all related with our developmental tools. But how to deal with their developmental tool, that is where the secret of our life and our well-being, where the nation's economy vis-a-vis a human health goes hands in hand. So the energy, industry, agriculture, transport, urbanization, cook stove, all these sources give rise to emissions, which in turn give the pollution as well as greenhouse gases, then global warming, then it comes to climate change, and all these things when happen, then poor air quality is also there. And then when there is a poor air quality, then there is a poor health. And that is where the problem is, that we are in the circle total when this happens. Now, emission of pollutants and greenhouse gases are becoming more and more threatening at Earth's surface as our development and human activities are increasing. And as a result of that, many things are there. For example, the extreme events, what we call is a severe dust storm, which never used to be there before, severe floods. Sometime you are in our country, you are finding that if you go interior sometime, then there is a drought. But at the same time, if you go to the Mumbai, there are a number of years where extreme heavy rains is the Mumbai floods are there. Then cyclone frequency has also increased. So there is something which is happening to the nature. And that is what where I see that how we can control all those things. Now coming to this one comparison which I would like to make is that basic necessity of the life. How much is the food normally we can eat in a day? 1 or 2 kg per day. Then water, 2, 3, 4, 5 liters per day. But if you can remember what I told 5 minutes back, how much air we breathe in a day, 14,000 liters. Now, even if it's 0.001% contamination or poison is there in this, it is anyway going, the ratio or the contribution is going to be much higher in 14,000 liters. So if we get a food little bit contamination, then we get a food poisoning. Then if water is a problematic, we can, waterborne diseases are there, we can get into that, or we can have a diarrhea, many other things. Now you think of it, that if air get contaminated, what will happen? But since it is not visible, it is not that much researched, we are all not concerned much until recently about that. With this, I come to the fact that these are the pollutants, PM 2.5, 10 and all those things. Out of this PM 2.5, you just listen, just remember that it is a finer particle, how small they are, and they are the one which are our enemies in terms of air pollution. How the pollution are created? Many of you must be thinking that only the whatever we drive vehicles, but no. There are 26 different sources are there. We account for that for each and every street in a city by city. Transport, biofuel, bleak industry, street vendors, hotel, construction, speed breakers, major hospitals, tourist places, shopping malls, many things. Diesel genset, wind blown dust, power plant, waste burning, all those things. These are the sources. And this is one of the diagram that 1951 until recently 2017 data I have not updated further, but how number of vehicles have increased during this time, and because of that, how much would be the pollution. So you will see that during the last 6 years, just see that particular aspects of this, how much things have gone. Well, this is another thing that our more than 70% of the population lives in a rural areas, villages, where still many of people are using cow dung as well as the wood. Although the Ujjwala scheme is making a lot of improvement and dent in this kind of emission, but still a lot of people are still using the wood and all those things. So coming to the fact, all of you know, but then just slide is there that what is that Sarvyapi Mahamari COVID-19, an emergency pneumonia outbreak originated in Wuhan, China in December 2019. Research quickly isolated and found out that it is a new virus, sequences its genome, which is having about 30,000 nucleides. And on 11th February, WHO named this a coronavirus disease, which is COVID-19. That is why a disease that is highly infectious. And virus named as SARS-CoV-2 due to its phylogenetic and taxonomic analysis. That is something which is. So this initiated a pandemic story, and now we are all facing challenge to it. And we have done a lot of research, lot of doing this, and I am coming to this particular thing where I will tell you the positivity and negativity of this, but then...
Impossible is a word that doesn't exist anymore. Mumbai, Delhi, Pune, Ahmedabad, every city is striving to become a world-class city. But amid this, there's one more thing that's growing, and that is pollution and extreme weather conditions. SAFAR, System of Air Quality and Weather Forecasting and Research. SAFAR's mission is to develop scientific foundation for understanding, predicting, assessing, applications, and information for society. SAFAR embarked on its journey in 2010 during the Commonwealth Games as India got its first early warning system, SAFAR for Delhi. Superpower. SAFAR definitely takes us a step ahead.
So this is where from there we translate science into information, and then I am coming to with this introduction. We have a tool. This is a national-wise program where the PM10 particle, you will see that it is 60th part of a cross section of your single hair. So this is so small. Many students, many people, youngsters, they ask me that how much be the size of virus, sir? And when you say that PM10 itself is a 60th part of a human hair, then it is like this. So now you see that PM10, if it is look like this right hand side size, then red blood cells is of this size, PM 2.5 of this size, then bacteria is of this size, and when you come to this coronavirus, then compared to PM10, this is what is the coronavirus. So see how small it is. So the point is that it is a very, very lucky we are that it is not basically established that it is a airborne. It comes with the droplets. Had it been a airborne, then I think we will be inhaling all the time, even if with the number of, huge distances also. And that is where still the theory that it is spreading through the air independently is not yet completely established. And that is why these are the things. So during this time, you know, what has happened that all these things are happening, and because of the corona, there was a lockdown. Now, as far as air quality is concerned, there was a very good news. So it is a blessing in disguise that back to normal again, largest ozone hole, and then this is like, you know, you are cleaning the earth. This is the symbolic meaning of that particular thing. These are the sources, all you see, that 6 major sources are there. Out of 26, we have combined all through, which I don't want to even name that. These are the out of burning, parali burning, these are the heat bhattas and then power plants and all. They all gone down heavily. And you will see that one example that green is the best and red is the worst. So you will see just a symbolic thing that PM 2.5 in Delhi and surrounding area, which was looking like this emissions, these are the emissions, which has gone down to like this. That is, I am talking about during the lockdown. So without lockdown, this blue, lockdown is this green. And the lower diagram shows the percentage reduction. So the percentage reduction from all the sources has gone between 80 to 90%. So it's almost whatever we used to do that in the lockdown, it is all gone. So whatever is left out is the nature. So for example, Pune was looking like this, it has gone like this, and then these are the 1 week before or a year before what was there, and then this was the COVID. So these are the differences in Pune, these are the differences in Delhi. For example, NOx used to be like this, then immediately after the lockdown it has gone to this. Then you will see that Ahmedabad, which was like this earlier, and then just see that how clean the atmosphere was looking like. These are all examples in a different city. I can go on and on for this. But as far as climate change is concerned, that is also very surprisingly that from all the sectors, you will see that from these climate change, when we talk about CO2, it is a global scenario because it's a lifetime of more than 250 years or so. So you'll see that from the February itself, these are from these sectors, CO2 emissions have declined like this. Where it was from 1900, it was increasing this way. And this you will see that this red one is the pandemic year. And before that, January, February, March, it used to be like this, 17, 18, 19, 20. The electricity demand, daily generator gigawatt hours. And this is the way it declined like this. So National Salt Satyagraha Memorial, Dandi Beach, Gujarat, you will see that is a solar panel trees, which was looking like this kind of thing where there is no. So CO2 emission fell by 15% in March and around about 30% in April. Much of this decline attributed to the lockdown, weekend demand for the coal and oil. So this was the effect. So now I would like to come to that. We came out in a very, very novel concept which has been published in international journals, and that is the reason that it is relevant with the policy makers. That without our own emissions, this much PM 2.5, PM 10 and PM 2.5 was anyway there. When 90% of the man-made emissions are gone. This was used to be like this, and May it used to be this, but without and with emissions. So this is what is the difference. So nature in any way given us this much. That is the reason that for this our safe limit is 60. For this our safe limit is 100. Out of which nature has given us this. This is the stable atmosphere. We can't do anything much about it. So this is where you should keep in mind that this is something. If you put your standards below suppose 40 or 30 on 24-hour average, it is not. It is a God-gifted thing already. It is this much is there. In any case, that is not harmful to us also. So that is something which we should have to do that. But another very interesting thing which came out of like this, that well, in this there are so many things are there, but you just look at blue graph. only blue, which is PM 2.5. You will see that Delhi was the highest, 100, then Ahmedabad was 70 microgram per, Mumbai was 60, but Pune was 45 microgram. So Delhi was the highly polluted, then Ahmedabad and Mumbai and then. But when you come to permanent level, what has happened that Mumbai has become the highest background level without. So God gifted is 33 for Mumbai, Ahmedabad is 32, Pune is 29, and Delhi was 22. So the one which has the highest has gone, God gifted thing is least. And that was one of the reasons that in the initial days, you were finding that pollution is much less in Mumbai, but the corona related infection was the highest and Delhi, it was the lowest. So these are the baseline level, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Pune, Delhi, Calcutta and Chennai. And these were the mortality due to COVID. And there is a 80% correlation. So pollution is not related with what you are, I mean, directly related what you are doing today, but what you are permanently inhaling, which is what is the best level. And that is the reason that Mumbai has the highest after that Ahmedabad, even in Pune, which is the cleanest. Even then it was like that. So, you know, this is the difference. We'll see that these are the new things which came out. Now, scientific basis of positive under COVID-19, air pollution can be seen as a stress and can compromise one's positive effect via cognitive appraisal of negative feeling. This conclusion provided a theoretical basis to connect air pollution to individuals' positive effect and well-being. Then air pollution is related to oxidative stress and inflammation in the brain, which in turn is associated with negative effect and related behavior. So when you are having a more polluted environment, you are prone to more fighting, more stress, more getting irritated, whereas pollution became less, then it is like this. So you become more humble. That is what is the neurotoxicological journals and very reputed journals. These are the, so the negative feeling increases when the pollution increases. So one thing was that this positive feeling COVID-19 has increased, at least if the depression for getting inside into in the houses has increased, but this has leveled out. Then asthma positivity. A working paper published by the National Bureau of Economic reduced pollution. It says that about 360 fever death each month in the United States, about a drop of about 25%. Although because of the corona, it can no way be compared 25% with respect to 1 lakh at that point of time. But 25% death due to asthma is a lot. This is a saving of the life that what would achieve. There is a less costly way to improve air pollution. So I am talking about that less costly way to improve air pollution, much more technological driven way of doing this, like electrical vehicles and all. And last few slides, I will just put it that aerosol transmission, people were talking about that it was related with PM 2.5, PM 2.5, it is related with that. Well, these are the mechanisms by which it is there. So PM 2.5, lot of papers came and WHO never accepted that particular thing in a full capacity. And that is what something that we don't have any correlation of infection with PM, but it is depending on what is PM 2.5 is made of, how toxic it is itself. And that is the reason that black carbon was one of those components of PM 2.5 where correlation was found to be 80% during the Parali burning in Delhi, where there was a reversal in COVID-19 infection as well as death, and then again it starts coming into that. So these are the infectious count which you will see that the dash area, this filled area, and black is, so it is very well correlating with that. So these were one of the reasons that it is a toxicity which matters, not the particulate matter which matters. Now, you new challenge and a new karma. With this, I will end my slides, 3-4 more. One is that the biggest challenge what is going to face today is that the plastic is something where single-use plastic, including surgical masks, plastic cups, have been vital in supporting society during COVID. Thailand plastic waste has increased during year due to high demand delivery of foods at home. the frost surveillance, so many things. I mean, Thailand Environmental Institute plastic waste has increased from 15,000 tons to 7,000 tons per day. So in India too. So plastic and their disposal become a major global issue now, and waste management system needs robustness to deal with current plastic waste. For example, you will see plastic, so many, even people are enjoying the food in Europe, but then these are the innovative ways that they are in the plastic kavach, but then at the same time, they are eating the food. They are hugging, you know, the people who are close, affectionate, but even then it is like this. These are different ways. So what I put it here is, there was a time, you know, 2 years back when we were telling plastic, this is called real karma. Human raped the nature in plastic and nature raped the human in plastic. So plastic pandemic disposal, major global issue, robust waste management a challenge. Can pandemics, clean air could reshape our sustainable development goals? Yes. Lockdown made an atmosphere where man-made emissions have dropped a level not seen in decades. The data enhance our understanding of atmospheric chemistry, air pollution, and public health. Need to work toward fine-tuning air quality and other things. Lockdown allowed us to develop a more precise profile, and so many things it has given to us. Final slide is that COVID-19 and take-home messages. Our goal should be to learn from the silver lining. What is silver lining? That pollution has declined, sky has become more sky blue, but air quality, but then in addition to that, you have to seize upon that lining, institutionalize it, and increase the awareness about it. With this, I close my talk. Thank you very much for your patience listening.